How we doing, guys? So Dan from Trading with Dan here. So today we're going to do something a bit different, to my usual videos, if you guys listen to those. But this is going to be the first video on my Etoro trading account using the indicators that I use to trade BTC. You guys that know me from my Bitcoin videos, my 3 commas bot auto bot video, obviously you guys know that trading is going quite well. The bot works fine. The indicators that I use and my strategy is good. But I've got this little niggly thing that I haven't been paying a lot of attention on, which is basically my Etoro account. So if we go over to my stats here, I mean, initially it started off well. I started to not really pay a lot of attention to it, had a few break evens, and then I had a couple of disastrous months, January and February, where I would say this is just from like bad trading, which it is from bad trading, but it's also from not really having an aim or strategy and not really thinking about what I was doing so much. I don't really know what I was doing. I did used to have a few copiers on here because that's the point of Etoro, social trading, but I'm down to 1. And I'm pretty sure this is just one of my mates that doesn't want to tell me, oh, I'm not copying you anymore. But yeah, but either way, we're going to turn this around. So you can probably see from my stats that that I maybe started off all right, but then we didn't do too well after that. So what we are going to do is I'm going to show you the markets that I'm going to trade on here. So if I go to my watch lists, and it's going to be these are the markets we're going to trade. We're going to trade these are the markets we're going to start off by monitoring and waiting for the trades to come, and that we are going to trade. But also we may add other new markets in as well, especially some of the forex pairs, because I've never really been a forex trader, but we are going to look at some of those trades. So I actually did one today based on a DMT signal that worked out okay. So let me just show you the charts for these indicators that we are actually going to trade. So we're using the 15-minute Dominator. Sorry, this is the 15-minute DMT chart. So if we go back basically we'll just go back to the start of February. Which is basically about here. So we had a sell in here. So selling all around 51, 60, 69. And then we did come all the way down to basically 100 ticks nearly there, like a whole dollar in the oil price, and then we rallied back, and then we came down again. But I'll have to decide when I'm in the trade how I'm going to manage the trade, whether I'm going to take some off once we get to a certain level. I'll have to decide how I manage each entry, depending on how the market trades and how it moves. But you can see it basically was always either going to be a take and a profit. It was always going to be a profitable trade, this was, because by the time the market switched to a buy, it was still lower than our original sell entry. So this buy though was actually not a good buy, so we bought around here, and then the price did come down basically in a straight line quite a bit, so would have had to have managed our risk and stopped out that trade at some point. So that wouldn't have worked that well, even though subsequently the market did come back up. It just is what it is. We can't fiddle around with the time frames just to get better. We're gonna have losing trades basically. So then we got another sell here around this 50-80. We came up about another 60 ticks, but then we did proceed to sell off. So that would have been within a range of my risk margin for the trade. But you can see we did sell off, so that would have been a good trade. And then obviously we flipped to a buy at a level that was before, which is lower than the original sell level. So I mean, even if we'd got out there, we would have made that profit. Another thing to note though is that where the Dominator, we'll look at this afterwards again. We won't look at this now because this is the 15-minute Dominator. We're not going to use that to trade this. So we got the buy signal. The buy signal around 50.64. We did come down nearly $100 basically, but then when the market did go up, keep going up. So that was good. I mean, we got a sell. We came down a bit, but then we came back up to the break even. I mean, I'm not sure when you would have been holding. I mean, we did flip to a buy here, so you would have bought here, so you wouldn't have been holding the short then. Then we had a pretty much a great buy. This was from 52 to over 54, about $54, so that would have been a good buy. This would have been a good sell here. And then yeah, and that's the trade we've been at the moment. You just have to see where you took it off. So we can see that strategy would have been profitable overall. We'll just click over to the 25-minute Dominator for this, see if this gives us any indication of what we could be doing. So yeah, we could be selling. We could have been selling here, so that would have been actually a great sell. Never really gone offside. We came all the way down. We actually flipped to a buy here, but you could decide if you wanted to get out of the buy trade, bearing in mind you're well on side, and would also just had the flip to the sell in the DMT, so you know that the market is weakening. So yeah, I mean, when this did happen, you got to here. You could have set yourself a stop at a level that you saw appropriate to stop you out in case you did keep going up, but then we didn't. We proceeded to carry on going down. So even if you took the sell back on again here, if you did take the trade off, put the sell back on here, you can see that was still a great place to put that trade on. So buy wise in the Dominator, you can see we had the buy at this level here, perfect, literally the perfect buy entry. We had a sell here, which is basically about the perfect sell entry. A buy here, which was a great buy entry. I mean, worst case you get down to there, but you would have taken some profits. A sell entry, this one didn't work so well, but it's trading, they're not all going to work. A buy entry here, which did work well. A sell entry, let's zoom this in a bit. What candle? Yeah, so sell entry would have been here. So I mean, we did go up, we did come back to back on side again, and then we did go lower, so it would have depended on how long you held it for. We never came out of the sell on the Dominator, so you could realistically be holding it all the way till basically down that level. So that isn't a bad trade. A buy here, yeah, it was choppy, but you could have got out of profit, or you could have stopped at not much of a loss. A sell trade here, that didn't really work out. You would have had to decide when you were going to stop out of that one. A buy trade here again, which didn't particularly work out. So two losing trades there, but you get them. Sell trade here, which did sell off, so that would have been a good trade. Buy trade here, which wasn't a very good buy. And then we're just at the end of January now. So and then we had a sell trade just here. So you can see using the DMT and the Dominator together. So Dominator probably to get in the position and to confirm where you are in the trend is probably a good way to trade this. So if you look at what we're at now, because obviously we're going to be waiting for our next trade, the Dominator is nowhere near coming to a buy, and the DMT buy is over $49. So we don't have any oil trade looking like it's going to trade anytime soon. So yeah, so that is going to be one of the markets we'll trade, but only when we get the signal, and we've not got it at the moment. So we're going to quickly go over these other markets. I'm cognizant of the fact this video might be quite long. So the DMT got you long here, about 15.60.66, and then you can see the market did rally up a lot. That is a big move. That's a massive move in gold. So if you're running that, that would have been fantastic. You were getting the buys on the Dominator. You can see the buy waves are coming quite a bit bigger than the sell waves. So yeah, you could be buying, you could be then getting out of the position, maybe even selling, and then getting back long again, maybe selling, getting back long again, and then basically staying long along with the DMT trend. So yeah, that was great, and then that did turn into a sell just here, which would have been a good sell. Well, you would have been on side most of the time, so you could have taken profit. Then we got the DMT sell once we break through here. That hasn't looked so like a great trade at the moment, but we don't know how this trade's going to turn out. And then yeah, so we had a sell there, which you would have got a profit from. A buy here, which you could have got a profit or scratched, and a buy here. So it is a combination of the entries, the Dominator indicator. In fact, sorry, I don't know why I was showing the DMTs on that, because that is not on the 15-minute, that's on the 25-minute chart. So we had the sell there, and then we had the buy here, a sell there, which would have been about a scratch and trade, a buy there, which wouldn't have got much, a sell there that would have done okay. So we are going to trade gold on that as well. So dollar index, over to the dollar index. This is the 15 minute. You can see we're currently in a sell trade from here, which was a good trade. We did come down. We had a bit of a fake out into a buy here, but we would have had to stopped out at some point, and then we would have stopped out short, and we would have made on the way back. We had a sell trade here that would have been a great sell, and then back here at a buy here that would have been a great buy. Then a bit of chop there, and then another great buy down here, and another great sell there. Are we still in? Oh, we're in January now, and then another great buy there. So you can see 50-minute DMT working fantastic for the dollar index, the DXY. And then yeah, as looking at the Dominator from the DXY, so we had a sell here, which was a good sell. We had a sell here, which would have been a good sell. We had a buy around here, which is a bit of a fake out. So I mean, you can decide whether you want to take the buys when the Dominator is coming down, but that's something we'll assess on a trade by trade basis. So the Dominator went into a sell here, which was a good sell. The market then obviously showed its weakness, so that was a great sell. And then we had a buy here on the 25-minute Dominator. And then what is going on with my chart? Yeah, and then we had a fantastic buy, DMT and a buy on here, which was a great run up. So that would have been a fantastic trade in February still. So you can see we would have done well on the dollar index using our indicators in February. And then over to the S&P. S&P was a great sell here. This is the 50-minute chart was a great sell there. Had a bit of a chop zone, buy and sells quite a bit, buys, but overall you can see the S did work as well. So yeah, so we're going to go over the Forex videos in the last one. So all I want to kind of say is that we are going to turn this around, this account. It's got $2,600 equity, and yeah, so I will keep you guys posted with this, with daily videos and what we're looking at. I'll speak to you soon.